Sparked by the play of Alonzo Mourning, Miami won 61 regular season games and entered the playoffs on fire. They scorched Orlando in games 1 and 2. Miami smiles, perfect counterpoint to Orlando frustration. That's before Orlando called on its magic penny. Suddenly, Miami was only warm. The smiles replaced by concern. Now a deciding Game 5. Can the Heat reignite? Or is there a bit of magic remaining?
This is the NBA on NBC. The 1997 NBA playoffs. Today, it's the Orlando Magic versus the Miami Heat.
The battle for the Sunshine State has reached its 5th and final game as the Orlando Magic take on the Miami Heat. It's a beautiful sunny afternoon in Miami, but fans entering the arena know this will be no day at the beach. The winner moves on to the Eastern Conference semifinals, and the fans here at the arena revved up as the Heat look for their first ever playoff series win. Hello everyone, welcome to Miami. Tom Hammond and Dan Issel, ready to bring you Game 5. You know, a week ago at the end of Game 2, we thought the only way you'd see an Orlando player in Miami again would be for an off-season vacation. But never underestimate the value of a penny. Penny Hardaway, games 1 and 2, averaging 19 points, 26% of the Magic offense. Look at what he did in games 3 and 4, 41.5-point average, 44% of Orlando's points. Penny Hardaway, Dan, is the major reason for the turnaround, but there is a more subtle reason as well.
I think Darrell Armstrong's the key to Orlando's comeback. Defensively, he has pressured Tim Hardaway baseline to baseline, and offense, when he's running the team, Penny can concentrate more on scoring.
And of course, Tim Hardaway for the Miami Heat, 2 great games in 1 and 2, subpar performances games 3 and 4.
Well, obviously, if the Heat are going to win today, Tim Hardaway has to shoot the ball better and not turn the ball over.
And though Alonzo Mourning's numbers continue to be good, his game still not at peak efficiency.
Alonzo has to get more involved in the game defensively. In Game 1, he had 6 blocked shots. He's only had 3 since that time.
Can it be done? Can you come from an 0-2 deficit to win a best-of-5 series? Well, here's a man that has first-hand knowledge of that. Dan Issel's Denver Nuggets did it against Seattle in 1994. Game 5 of this opening round series. Here's a penny for Miami's thoughts. Maybe Tim and Zoe don't believe in magic.
The NBA on NBC is brought to you by Miller Lite, who reminds you that anything can happen at Miller time. By the 97 Mitsubishi Eclipse, the sports car that speaks your language, built for living. And by Nike, who encourages you to participate in the lives of America's youth.
Welcome back to Miami for Game 5 in this opening round playoff series. Let's check the starting lineups. First for the Orlando Magic, that smaller, quicker lineup that's been so successful. Penny Hardaway, the first in NBA history to have 2 back-to-back 40-point playoff games while their team scores under 100 points. Brian Shaw also starts in the backcourt. Danny Shays filling in for the injured Ronnie Cycli, with Anderson and Strong, one of the playoff heroes, completing the Magic lineup. Richie Adubato says this comeback for Orlando has been the high point of his coaching career. And the Miami Heat starting lineup. In the backcourt, Tim Hardaway, the key. Can he step it up to the games he had in 1 and 2? Sean Leonard is the other starting guard. And the front line for the Miami Heat, Alonzo Mourning with Jamal Mashburn and P.J. Brown. Mourning and Hardaway, the key players for Pat Riley, who is the NBA's all-time winningest playoff coach. Let's go to Paul Sunderland. Paul?
Well, guys, obviously an unlikely turnaround in this series with Orlando coming back from being down 2-0. And if they want to continue this unlikely streak, they're going to turn to a very surprising potential hero, Danny Shea, 17 years in the league, but he's just been killing the Miami Heat with shots from the perimeter. Hit 5 of 6 in a most recent game 4, and he comes off screen and roll from either Penny Hardaway or Darrell Armstrong, and he's been playing superb basketball. If he's knocking down those shots, Alonzo Mourning or P.J. Brown have to move away from the basket. It gives Penny Hardaway even more room to operate. What they need from him is a game like they might expect from his Hall of Fame father, Dolph, one of the 50 greatest players of all time. We're set to go. Back to you guys.
All right, Paul, Dolph Shea's in attendance here. One of the few, there are a few, rooting for the Orlando Magic. Ready to go in Game 5 from Miami. Alonzo Mourning easily controls the opening tap. Brian Shaw has the defensive assignment to start the game on Tim Hardaway. Mourning against Shays. And an offensive foul. Alonzo Mourning, part of the Orlando strategy was to get Zoe in foul trouble.
Well, they didn't think they'd do it at the offensive end of the floor, Tommy. It's more at the defense where they're really going to challenge Mourning. When he got in foul trouble in game number 3, that's really what turned this series around.
First possession for Orlando. Hardaway. And he takes up right where he left off. Penny Hardaway gets the first points of the game.
And again, Orlando screening across the lane, bringing Penny to the ball, getting him some help offensively.
Hardaway got a screen and made a nifty move to blow right by Shays, who was trying to help out, and we're tied at 2. Strong can't muscle it in. Mourning has it for Miami.
One of the things that's going to be so important is tempo in this game, Tom. Orlando wants it wide open. Miami wants to control it a little more.
Penetration again by Tim Hardaway results in an Orlando foul as he dishes off to P.J. Brown.
First 2 plays of the game offensively, we've seen a key for Miami. Hardaway penetrating. He scored the first time. This time he dishes it off to Brown. He'll have 2 free throws, but it's Darrell Armstrong who has kept that man from being able to penetrate the last 2 games.
And we expect to see Armstrong off the Orlando bench before too long, as P.J. Brown makes the first free throw.
P.J. Brown and his scouting report, good rebounder, good work ethic, needs to improve a little bit as a shooter. You have to keep him off the offensive glass, an outstanding offensive rebounder.
P.J. in his 4th season from Louisiana Tech, spent 3 years with the New Jersey Nets. His free throws make it a 2-point Miami lead. Danny Shays from 17, and that's the outside shot, trying to draw Alonzo Mourning out, and if he continues to hit, they'll have to react.
Well, you're exactly right. That's a big key. If Danny makes that shot, Mourning's going to have to come out of the paint, and it'll be wide open inside for Hardaway.
P.J. Brown, they left him open, and he burned them. 4 points for P.J. Miami back up by 2. LaShawn Leonard checking Penny Hardaway as Mourning helped on the switch. Now gets back to Shays. Shays collides and is called for the offensive foul. Danny Shays as P.J. Brown took the charge.
And Danny might have tried to do a little too much that time. He's got Derek Strong wide open over on the left-hand side. If he would have dropped it off to Strong, could have had an easy shot.
Hardaway against Shaw. Screen from Mourning. Back out to Mashburn, had the open 3-pointer, passed it up. And a 3-second violation against Miami. Alonzo Mourning in the paint too long. Riley's team turns it over.
Uncharacteristically, a Pat Riley coach team had a number of turnovers in Orlando, and they're going to have to do a better job of taking care of the basketball this afternoon.
9.5 minutes left, opening period. Well, that was rough from the start, and Derek Strong finally lost the ball out of bounds. Never really had control as he tried to spin baseline. Turnovers now all even at 2 apiece. So Alonzo Mourning off to a rough start, an offensive foul, and now a traveling call.
And a 3 seconds call,
yeah.
so he's got 3 turnovers already in the game. And again, the footwork not quite with putting the basketball on the floor.
Screen from Shays. Penny Hardaway drew a double team momentarily. Tried to throw it underneath the Strong, and the Magic returned the favor, giving it back to Miami.
I think so far, Tom, a reflection of the importance of this game. The Heat had a marvelous season. If they lose this, it all goes down the drain. Orlando would like to keep the string going, and so far, both teams pretty tight.
Tim Hardaway, back rim. Mourning kept it alive. Brown saved it to Mashburn. Mashburn, open shot just inside the arc.
And the assist goes to Hardaway, but also an assist should go to Alonzo Mourning. An excellent screen down on the baseline to spring Mashburn open.
Quick hands of Tim Hardaway. Miami in transition. Deshaun Leonard spotted up, shot way off the mark. Out of bounds to Orlando.
Well, Deshaun Leonard had the big game in game number 1 that you alluded to. There's the screen by Mourning, maybe moving a little bit, but he picks off Hardaway. Mashburn knocks it down.
Penny Hardaway got the pass underneath. Couldn't get the shot, but gets right by Deshaun Leonard, who reaches in with a foul. Leonard's first foul. The officials, Bill Oakes, Dick Bavetta, and Joe Forte.
And that call was made way out on the floor when before Penny got to the basket, the call against Leonard.
Hardaway with a fake of Leonard and a step. Mourning rejects. The trailer, Mourning missed it. Rebounded by Strong.
Should have thrown that ball down instead of trying to finesse it up to the basket.
Ryan Shaw to Shays. Mourning another block. Strong's follow results in a Miami foul.
Now this is what we talked about Mourning getting more involved defensively. He's the gatekeeper back there. He's going to take away those easy baskets that Orlando was getting the last 2 games at their home arena.
Derek Strong has had an excellent playoff series. The foul, by the way, the first on Jamal Mashburn of Miami. Derek from Xavier actually played against Georgetown when both Alonzo Mourning and Dikembe Mutombo were Hoyas. That was in the NCAA tournament. He played for the Xavier Musketeers and took on both Mutombo and Mourning. And he's been giving Alonzo fits, even though Mourning's numbers look good. The production has been off somewhat. Off a screen, Mashburn, 2 for 2.
And by going to Mashburn, the Heat are making Penny work defensively, running Mashburn off of screens, getting good licks on Penny early in the game.
Heat back up 4. Shot clock to 4. Shaw in trouble, got it away. Couldn't hit it, but a rebound by Strong on the offensive board. Managed to save it to Shaw. Hardaway's calling for it, and the pass intercepted by Leonard. And Anderson fouled him. Nick Anderson saying that Leonard used his off arm to push off, but no doing. Joe Forte calls the foul on Nick Anderson. We got a timeout, 6:33 left in the opening quarter. Jamal Mashburn has hit his first 2 shots, and Miami has the lead. The NBA on NBC. Miami leading Orlando by 4 in the early going. After the Heat lost game 3 in Orlando, Pat Riley canceled practice and had the players critique the film of game 3. We asked him what happened after that.
Well, they wrote down a list of things, you know, and everything they wrote down we didn't accomplish the next night, so I'll never do that again. It's the last time I'll turn the film over to them, you know, and I just facetiously, you know, I mean, I'm always the one that directs the session, look at the tape, rewind it, run it back, here's what we have to do, you know, whatever. And so I think Tim and Zoe, you know, sort of got into that, and And probably what they did do is probably put in a movie and watch the movie or something.
So it was back to normal as the Heat returned it to Miami, and they looked at Game 4, and Riley did direct the film session and didn't much like what he saw. And Miami perhaps a bit overconfident after not only embarrassing Orlando in the first 2 games, but then taking a 20-point lead early in Game 3 only to lose. Gerald Wilkins, Darrell Armstrong into the Orlando lineup. Hardaway for 3. Oh!
Well, Penny's in one of those zones right now. I mean, the basket looks huge with every shot that he takes, whether he's inside or outside.
Leonard to answer for Miami. Can't do it. Wilkins grabs the rebound. Here's Armstrong. He's been the catalyst for this Orlando comeback in Games 3 and 4. Wilkins, guarded by Mashburn. Now the switch as Brown picks him up. Wilkins also has been very productive off the Orlando bench. Made the fake and took a bad shot. Mashburn grabs it and takes it the other way for Miami. Hardaway trying to pass in traffic to Mourning. Orlando foul, and there you see them trying to make Mourning work. Second foul on Shays.
You see Danny setting the screen, Penny coming off, and even though the defender right up under his chin, still nothing but net. And this is a real key, Tom, for Orlando. Without Horace Grant and Ronnie Cycli, they can't afford to have Shays or Strong get in foul trouble, because then they have to go really, really small.
In the form of Dennis Scott at 6'8", who replaces the 6'11" Danny Shays, who picked up his second foul. P.J. Brown. Strong has 4 rebounds. Anticipation by Tim Hardaway.
Now, I think this is a real challenge for Tim Hardaway, because Darrell Armstrong outplayed him the 2 games in Orlando. Tim, All-Star, wants to show that that really shouldn't be the case.
Hardaway shooting over Leonard. That one's short, but right there to get his own. And another 3 launched. No good. P.J. Brown for Miami. Hardaway whipping it inside. Knocked out of bounds last touch by Vashawn Leonard. Orlando will get it. Keith Askins entering the game for Miami. And Leonard will get a rest.
I thought Coach Adebayo made an excellent point yesterday, Tom, when he said he was doing this basically with role players, with Armstrong, with Strong, with Shays, with Wilkins. It'll be interesting to see how those players react playing in front of a hostile crowd.
And of course, he also said he needed some balanced scoring, which means Dennis Scott and Nick Anderson have to get into the flow. Scott misses that 3, but rebounded by Armstrong.
Yeah, both Scott and Anderson have had horrible seasons, both of them shooting 25-26%.
Strong driving on Brown. Mourning picks him up and blocks the shot. And then a jump ball is called. Well, Mourning's block production had been off in 3 and 4. He already has 2 or 3 blocks, 3 blocks already in the first quarter.
Which is the entire total he had for games 2, 3, and 4. Only 3 block shots.
Strong against Mourning. And Askins has it for the Heat. Miami with the ball, leading 14-9. Just under 4 minutes left in the first period. Mashburn looking for Mourning. Weak side help from Scott. Mourning forced it up and drew the foul. Dennis Scott called for his first foul on the weak side help.
And I would say so far the tempo in the favor of Miami. See both Scott and Armstrong with their, Strong with their arms straight up, and Richie obviously doesn't like the call.
Well, as a good player will do, Mourning forced the contact and went to the free throw line where he misses. We invite you to go online to NBCSports.com for a full recap of the playoffs to date. Plus, we take a look at the top performers in the first round. Larry Johnson, Jordan, Shaq Barkley, Karl Malone, to name a few. We ask you to vote for the player who's made the biggest impact in the best first round. It's all at NBCSports.com.
On Mourning really struggling from the free throw line. He missed 11 free throws in the 2 games in Orlando, and neither one of those 2 were even close to going in.
He has not scored in the game. Back to Penny with 8 on the shot clock. There's the double team momentarily. Wilkins with 4 to shoot. Gerald Wilkins. Wilkins, 11 points game 3, 11 points game 4 off the Orlando bench.
And you see Orlando really flip-flopping the offense with the big guys outside, the small guys underneath, keeping the Mourning out of the middle of the floor.
Tim Hardaway. Brown tried to flip it to Mourning, deflected by Strong. Here come the Magic. Gerald Wilkins. Armstrong, quick move, open shot. Rimmed out, and Brown clears to Tim Hardaway. 3rd rebound for PJ. Mashburn. First miss for Jamal. Dennis Scott has it for Orlando. Wilkins for 3.
And again, outstanding ball movement by Orlando. They're finding the open man when Miami starts switching their defenses.
Wilkins with 5 in a reserve role for Orlando in this opening period, tying the game at 14. Mourning with the screen and the roll. Hardaway's pass to P.J. Brown, and he pounds it through. Half dozen points for P.J.
Orlando now, Tom, walking the ball up the court, and I think that plays right into Miami's hands.
Miami defense so suffocating in the first 2 games. And Strong with a rainbow shot for his 4th point. Tied at 16. Tim Hardaway backing in on Armstrong. Screen from Mourning. Left open for the jump shot, and he nails it, his first 2.
Yesterday at the end of practice, Mourning practiced that shot right there for a good 10 to 15 minutes. He can hit that little 16, 18-foot jumper.
Boy, and he was hitting him then, too, as he worked on that shot. Rarely missed. And he got the open look that time and converted. Wilkins missed the reverse. Mourning fumbles, then recovers. Tim Hardaway has been working the pick and roll with Mourning. Back to Alonzo for the jam from P.J. Brown. Nice ball movement the last 2 possessions by the Miami Heat, keyed by Tim Hardaway. Here's Gerald Wilkins operating on Mashburn. Got away from him to lay it in. Pretty move. Gerald with 7 points.
And again, Miami having to play the perimeter defense and people having to stay honest, opening up the middle for Wilkins.
7 points in 6 minutes for Gerald. Here's Mourning facing up. And he hits his 3rd in a row. Alonzo Mourning finally finding the range. Hardaway drew the foul from Keith Haskins. Take a timeout. Approaching the end of the first period. 22-18 Miami. Things have been coming in threes for Alonzo Mourning today. 3 turnovers the first 3 minutes. Now 3 made shots.
Open jump shot that time. The next time, excellent ball movement. A nice pass by P.J. Brown. Mourning for the dunk. And now Derek Strong gives Mourning some room. And Alonzo knocks down another one.
There are his game numbers in the first 4 of this series. And speaking of threes, Penny Hardaway, with 1.5 seconds left in the quarter, will shoot 3 free throws. Fouled in the act of shooting a 3 by Keith Askins.
Well, Askins got in the air defensively. A nice ball fake by Hardaway to get him up in the air, and then Hardaway just jumping into him to make sure he drew the foul.
Penny, an excellent free throw shooter. Regular season 82% clip.
Kind of unusual situation here. No break in the action, so the second time out of the period actually comes with just a second and a half left to go in the quarter. So Mourning on the bench, he'll get the last time out, the second and a half now, and the quarter break to rest up.
He hits 2 of 3 at the line. Full court pressure from Orlando. Hardaway flings it 3/4 the length of the court. Well, both teams doing it the Hardaway in this first quarter. Penny, 2 of 5, shooting 7 points. Tim, 2 of 3, 4 points. At the end of the first period in Game 5, it's Miami 22 and Orlando 20.
You're watching the NBA on NBC. The 1997 NBA playoffs.
Tom Hamadanus or Paul Sunderland in Miami, where the Heat lead the Magic 22-20 at the end of the first quarter. Orlando hitting only 39% from the floor in that first period, 7 of 18, while Miami is 9 of 16, 56%. Orlando, thanks to 5 boards by Derek Strong, out-rebounding Miami 9-7, but the Magic had turned it over 6 times, 5 turnovers by Miami. Wilkins now guarded by Dan Marley, who enters the game for Miami to start this second quarter. Out of the double team, only 2 to shoot. Scott got it in somehow.
Just a great move to the basket by Dennis Scott, aware that the 24-second clock was about to expire. He threw it up off the glass and got it to go down.
The tie of the game at 22, the 5th tie. Marley with 3 to shoot, missed it. Penny Hardaway tapped it to Dennis Scott. Here comes Orlando with a chance to take the lead. Penny with a pull-up.
The biggest difference in this game so far from games 1 and 2 that Miami won easily has been Orlando's defensive pressure. The Heat not getting wide open shots like they did in the first 2 games.
Magic equaling its biggest lead, had a brief 2-point lead earlier. Armstrong nearly swiped it from Hardaway. Spotted up with a 3, Askins. With 3 on the shot clock, nails the trifecta. Big shot. Many open looks to suit Pat Riley. He has Alonzo Mourning ready to come back in the game. Wilkins shoots over Marley, bad shot. And Tim Hardaway brings it up court for Miami. Dish it to Brown, missed the shot. And I think a loose ball foul called on Orlando. Dennis Scott, his second personal. First Orlando foul of the quarter.
They're going to say he was shooting,
I guess, huh?
I didn't see that. I thought that P.J. Brown might have gotten fouled on his way to the basket, but it didn't look like Askins was in the act of shooting, but he'll get 2 free throws.
In this series, averaging 19 minutes of play, and good production already today. 5 points off the Miami bench. 3-point Heat lead. And scoring in favor of Orlando thanks to Gerald Wilkins, who has 7 of the 9. Penny, short. Mashburn. Ashkins finds Marley, passed up the shot. Now Mashburn inside. Mourning missed it, then tapped it in.
Mourning's a warrior underneath. He missed the first easy one, but stayed with it. Tom, if Orlando's going to spread the floor like they have been, they can't take that quick outside shot like Penny did last time down because they have no offensive rebounders underneath. If you're going to spread the floor, you got to take the ball to the basket.
Armstrong hit the side of the backboard. And a 24-second violation as well. That'll give it right to Miami, but first we'll take a timeout. And even 9 minutes remaining in the first half. Alonzo Mourning finding his stride. A 7-0 Miami run. Well, the last time a team came back from a 2-0 deficit to win a 5-game series 3 years ago, the Denver Nuggets against the Seattle Sonics. How many times have you seen that Dikembe Mutombo shot? And no matter what you may have heard somewhere else, the coach of that team was our own Dan Issel. Without the brown suit now, the Denver Nuggets with that amazing comeback. And there's Dan, where's that brown suit?
Well, I was going to say I wanted to get down on the floor and roll around too, but with the suit and everything, I thought it might be a bad idea.
Dan saying at the time he wore the brown suit in honor of his college coach, Adolph Rupp, who was the man in the brown suit. Dan, the all-time leading scorer for the Kentucky Wildcats. Dan Marley, air ball. And now Dick Bavetta and Joe Forte conferring on the call.
Well, Bavetta's going to keep it here with the Heat, and Joe Forte saying no. It went off of Mourning, and Dick Bavetta gets his way. Take another look at it. Marley, an open shot, barely hits the front of the rim, and you see the ball going out of bounds.
Couldn't tell if it touched Wilkins or not, really.
No, but the Heat keeps it.
Marley will try again. This one from Coconut Grove, and it got nothing but air as well. 2 straight air balls by Marley from three-point range.
And again, Orlando spreads the floor. They're going to try and get inside with Penny.
Penny double-teamed as Tim Hardaway came to help out. Shea's back in the game, fouled by Hardaway as he made the ball fake. First foul on Tim.
Quick ball movement by Orlando, and Danny trying to act like he was shooting the ball, hoping he'd get the 2 free throws, but Dick Bavetta not going for that.
Danny's a little too old for shots like that, isn't he? The recovery time isn't quite as good as it used to be.
No, not even close.
And a Miami foul. Marley, number 1.
That's one of the problems. If you've got a switching defense, Marley winds up on Derek Strong, and Dan just not strong enough to keep Derek out of there.
Nice use of the word strong. Blocked. Askins got a piece of Penny's shot. Tim Hardaway. And Shea's clears. Penny never made it back down court. And Tim Hardaway fouls him.
The Orlando bench right now wanting a flagrant foul, 2 free throws plus the ball out of bounds, but they're just going to get the 2 free throws. Nice pass in stride, and Tim Hardaway has no choice but just to reach out and grab Penny and hope he can't make the 2 free throws.
Penny shooting here for double figures. Can't get the roll.
So it was a good foul because now all Hardaway can do is come up with one. Clutch shooter, obviously, the last 2 games. Unselfish, but he's put this team on his shoulders. And we jinxed him again with the consistent free throw shooter.
Only a 50% free throw shooter today, 2 of 4. Quiets the crowd momentarily. Back to a 4-point Miami lead. Marley with the entry pass to Mourning. Backing on Shea's. Back outside. Crisp ball movement. Mourning with 2 to shoot. Rebounded by Strong. That's not the shot they wanted after all that ball movement.
No, it was great ball movement, but Orlando's defense stayed right with every pass.
Ball in Penny's hands. Missed it. Rebounded by Askins. Seven minutes left till halftime. Tim Hardaway says set it up. The Hardaways matched against each other here. Screen from Mourning left Tim Hardaway open for the shot. And Tim goes upstairs to take it away from Penny. LaShawn Leonard for 3. Mourning the offensive board.
Mourning with that offensive board, and Keith Askins with a great effort to tip the ball out to Tim Hardaway on the previous shot.
Mourning right by Shays, and a chance for 3. That's also 3 fouls on Danny Shays. Alonzo Mourning, watch this move. Right by Shays, and a chance for a 3-point play. You're watching the NBA on NBC. Welcome back to Miami, where Orlando has gone 4.5 minutes without a field goal. In fact, Miami has outscored them 9-1 during that time, and Alonzo Mourning with a chance to give the Heat their biggest lead of the game. Alonzo, after the slow start to 3 straight turnovers, has 10 points and 4 rebounds, but still trying to find the range at the stripe. And still cannot. 0 for 3 at the free throw line.
Well, free throw shooting, so much of it mental, and right now, Zoe believes that he can't make a free throw, and that's what's hurting.
Open 3 or 2, long range 2 for Armstrong. Had a foot on the line. 4-point game. Hardaway battling Armstrong. Pulls up. Can't score. P.J. Brown and Alonzo Mourning, and they're battling for Miami, and Dennis Scott had no shot.
Well, Miami really got a break there because especially the way Timmy's shooting right now, that was a tough shot. No passes, a defender right in his face.
Leonard for 3.
LaShawn Leonard had that big game in game number 1 and hasn't done much since then, but he drained that one.
Had 24 points in the opening game of the series. And he with its biggest lead. Penny will shoot 2. Askins called for the foul.
Richie saying we can't give him the open jumper. You got to get on him. Now he's calling the offensive play coming to the other end.
Penny misses the free throw. Don't forget, coming up next, Grant Hill and the Pistons square off to conclude their series against Dikembe Mutombo and the Atlanta Hawks. Then later today, the Lakers and Shaquille O'Neal travel to Utah to take on Karl Malone and the Jazz as their conference semifinals begin. That's 3 NBA playoff games today on NBC.
Adebayo saying that the Magic had to play almost a perfect game to win, as Tim Hardaway once again takes it to the glass. But having Penny Hardaway going 4 for 7 so far from the free throw line, certainly not a perfect game.
And Leonard with a hand on the back of Gerald Wilkins is called for the foul.
You can put your forearm on the offensive player, and you can really put your hand as long as the elbow's bent. But when the official sees that hand straight out, the arm straight out, the hand in the back, he's going to give him the free throws every time.
Wilkins can't hit. Orlando struggling at the free throw line, and it's costing them. They're 6 of 10. Wilkins hits the second. Let's check in with Paul Sunderland.
Well, Tom, Richie Adubato, coach of the Orlando Magic, is doing everything he can to encourage Darrell Armstrong and Penny Hardaway to get the ball up court against Miami's pressure and into their offense much sooner in the 24-second shot clock. He thinks that this offensive funk they're in is because they're taking way too much time. Obviously, Alonzo Mourning and Miami not in any kind of funk, but you can see Richie right now telling Darrell Armstrong to get that ball up court much, much faster. Back to you guys.
A dozen points for Alonzo. That time, Vashawn Leonard had the penetration and the dish. And the Miami Heat claim their biggest lead of this first half. Penetration, easy bucket. 38-29.
Hi, I'm Hannah Storm in New York. Coming up on the Prudential Halftime Report, we'll look ahead to Game 5 of the Pistons and the Hawks, which follows Orlando and Miami. We'll be hearing from Grant Hill of the Pistons, who's having a very good series against Atlanta, and today who is playing the biggest game of his NBA career. We'll also get the thoughts of Julius Erving, Peter Vesey, and Mike Fratello on the first half of the Magic and the Heat. Right now, Miami has its biggest lead of the game, 9 points over Orlando, as we send it back to Tom Hammond, Dan Issel, and Paul Sunderland.
All right, Hannah, and one of the reasons they have that lead is because Alonzo Mourning, using his size to great advantage inside, points in the paint heavily in favor of the Heat. Alonzo has 12 of the 18.
Well, and with Danny Shays in foul trouble, he'll be out the rest of the first half. Mourning kind of free to roam in the paint.
Shays on the bench with 3 first half fouls. Orlando has scored just 1 field goal in the last 6 minutes plus. Haskins deflects that one, intended for Hardaway. 7 to shoot. Wilkins has to lob it in to Penny Hardaway. Haskins deflects it out of bounds. Orlando controls. 5 on the 24.
Shays' foul trouble also hurts Orlando on the offensive end, Tom, because Mourning doesn't have to respect Strong's outside shooting as much as Shays.
Penny trying to post up Haskins. Gets the entry pass. Quick baseline move over 3 Heat players and reverses it through. Impossible shot.
Unbelievable. Unbelievable, but he's put this team on his shoulders and is carrying them offensively right now.
Tim spinning away from Armstrong. Leonard had it blocked by Armstrong. Got it back. Shot clock to 3. Tim Hardaway. Strong board by Mourning to put it home.
And if the Heat are persistent offensively with Mourning working the offensive glass, the lack of the big people for Orlando is really going to hurt them.
3rd offensive rebound for Zoe. 14 points, 5 boards. Hardaway forced to 3. Strong blocked by Mourning. Got it back and then promptly lost it to Haskins. Leonard pushing. And he's fouled. Mourning has been a terror on the defensive end. Block shots and intimidation.
Here's the offensive rebound by Mourning. Goes up Strong with the lay-in. And on the other end, Strong's going to get the rebound, but Mourning with the block shot.
Vashawn Leonard will shoot a couple.
This is a matchup that has been going in the favor of Orlando, believe it or not, the last couple of games, but it's all Mourning today.
Rebound to Wilkins. 3:20 left, first half. Miami up 10. Mourning with another rebound. 7 boards. Pass too tall for P.J. Brown, and Miami turns it over.
Timmy upset with himself. He knows that there's no reason with this nice little lead that they built up 10 points to be trying passes like that.
Wilkins trying to use quickness on P.J. Brown. Who touched it last? Miami. Nine on the 24 shot clock.
Need somebody to take the ball out of bounds. There we go.
Just another indication of this sort of makeshift lineup for Orlando. Nobody there to take the ball out of bounds, and then they promptly throw it away on the inbounds play.
Well, Adebato's done a great job with this lineup, but he kind of sensed that he knew what was coming yesterday when he was talking about the role players playing in a hostile environment today.
Leonard for three. Penny in a hurry. Spin fake. Ball lodged, but Penny was fouled. Another brilliant move as he put 2 or 3 in sequence.
And not only a brilliant move, but once again, he's going to use the ball fake to get Mourning up in the air. And when the defender leaves his feet, the offensive man definitely has the advantage.
Third foul on Keith Askins, who will go out as Marley returns. Penny's got to hit a free throw now. 4 of 7. There's the afternoon for Penny so far. Finally finds the range, and he has 14 points. 41-32. Mourning calling for it. Now Penny Hardaway matched up with Alonzo Mourning inside. Switch back and Strong takes him. P.J. Brown missed it, got it back and saved it to Mourning. Hustling play by P.J. Brown. Shot clock expires as Mourning heaves it toward the rim. Armstrong. Hardaway. And they get the three-point attempt by Anderson. He can't hit it. Anderson and Scott continue to be missing in action for Orlando.
And without offense from at least one of those players, it's going to be a long afternoon for Orlando.
You see the shot clock now to 2. And they don't beat it. 24-second violation by the Heat. It was Marley who passed up the three-point shot after going 2 air balls on his first 2 attempts. Penny Hardaway and Alonzo Mourning, the top point getters here in the first half.
Well, when you have a veteran player like Dan Marley, Tom, you have to be aware of the shot clock situation. You have a feel as a player how long you've had possession of the basketball, and you feel you're getting down to that point, you've got to take a quick glance at the shot clock.
Leonard picking up Penny Hardaway in backcourt. Open 3 Armstrong, and the second time it went halfway down and came out for Armstrong. Final minute of the first half. Tim Hardaway left open, missed it, and Penny Hardaway cradles it for the Magic.
And once again, not one pass on the offensive end for Miami. Timmy kept possession the whole time and takes the tough shot.
Penny spinning, trying to work his way, lost it for a moment. Back to him, 7 to shoot. Armstrong for 3. And Mourning kept it alive for the moment, then Strong is fouled as he takes it back up. Tim Hardaway picks up his 3rd personal foul. That'll send Strong to the line. A big surprise in this series. He's played for Washington, Milwaukee, for Boston, the Lakers, Orlando, and of course also in the CBA, the U.S. Basketball League in Spain, as Hardaway goes to the bench with 3 fouls. Strong has paid his dues, and is really getting some attention now.
He is, Tom, and it shows how talented every player is in the National Basketball Association. Even Strong, now that he's getting his opportunities, is showing that he can play some basketball.
6 points, already 11 rebounds in today's game. Alonzo Mourning. Here's Armstrong. Tries to beat the clock from midcourt and cannot connect. And that will bring the first half to a close. Penny Hardaway, as expected, carrying the offense for Orlando. But Alonzo Mourning answering for Miami as the marquee players up to snuff in this Game 5 of the opening round series. Now stay tuned for the Prudential Halftime Report coming up after these messages.
This is the Prudential Halftime Report, brought to you by Prudential, bringing strength and stability to America's families through insurance, healthcare, real estate, and financial services.
Halftime in Miami with the Heat leading the Magic 41-34. Penny Hardaway coming off the 2 huge games, just 4 for 12 today for 14 points. Hi, everybody. Hannah Storm back in New York with Doc, Peter, and the Czar, and we will hear from these gentlemen in just a few moments. Following the Heat and the Magic, we've got Game 5 of the Detroit-Atlanta series. The winner of that game faces the Bulls starting Tuesday night in Chicago. The Pistons had a chance to wrap up the series on their home court Friday night, but they couldn't get it done. And yesterday, Jim Gray spoke with Grant Hill.
If your 2 leaders step up and they say, this is our coach, then everybody else falls in line.
I mean, I understand as a leader of the team that, always going to be liked. And I wasn't always comfortable with that, but I'm comfortable with that now. And, as long as you're respected, that's fine. And I'm not always liked. And sometimes you got to say things that, that people don't want to hear, but you got to be honest with yourself and with your teammates.
The Detroit Pistons have defeated the Chicago Bulls to end the 19-game win streak by Chicago against Detroit. And you can see the tears flowing.
The team takes on his personality. And I'm not really an emotional guy, but as a team, though, we play emotional basketball. When we're playing good basketball, when we're winning, when we're playing like we did in Game 3, and like we're going to play in Game 5, then we're an emotional team. We're a team that hustles, that scraps, that fights for everything that we have, and we've really taken on his personality.
Grant, do you remember when the Bulls used to constantly try and beat the Pistons and they couldn't do it? Jordan could never quite get over the hump. Do you feel as though now you're the guy who was in the same position that Jordan was all those years ago?
I hate the comparisons with Jordan, but I mean, I feel that we're just not there yet. Ideally, you'd like to say that you are there, but realistically, we're not.
Grant Hill, I think you see the passing of the torch to the next generation, the next Dr. J's, Michael Jordans.
You like to be, where the Bulls are, and that's. I'm constantly reminded by Doug and by people in the organization that to be a championship team is going to take time, and you have to take the necessary steps to get there, and didn't happen overnight for the Bulls, didn't happen overnight for the Bad Boys, so I'm always reminded of that, but quite naturally you want it now.
You guys had a chance to put the Hawks away and avoid a Game 5. How do you feel about letting that opportunity slip away?
Personally, I feel upset. I think the team on a whole is upset and disappointed because, like you said, we had an opportunity, to close this series out in Detroit, and they forced this Game 5. And I guess now, in some ways, the momentum has swung back in their favor.
And what's the feeling internally with the ball club as you approach a Game 5, being a young team and knowing that everybody's looking at you to try and get past this?
It's weird. Like Joe Dumars, Rick Mahorn, Otis Thorpe, those guys who've been on championship teams, they can, tell us all the stories in the world about what it's like to be in the playoffs, what it's like to win a championship, what it's like to be in a Game 5 series. I really believe that you have to go through it to really understand it. You have to go through that experience.
Grant Hill talking about going through the playoff experience of losing, Doc. Is that crucial in the formation of a great player?
I think it is, but it's the norm rather than the exception. The exception is when a guy comes in and he's a superstar at his first year and they go to the championship round first or second year. But it's every player's goal to win the last game of the season, and only 12 guys are going to win. So the guys who lose, they got to agonize over this, and they got to figure out next year, how do I come back better? Coaching will play a role, supporting cast will play a role, but ultimately the burden will fall on the shoulders of the superstar until he gets his ring.
So you're saying a guy like Grant Hill will have individual incentive to keep improving, but does the team need to have even more than that, Mike, to get back to the elite level in the NBA?
Well, there's no question that he's the heir apparent to Michael, and if you look statistically, he's going to get better. He keeps working at his game. He'll be better than a 30% three-point shooter. He'll get better at the foul line where he shoots 71. But remember, he averages almost a triple-double for the entire regular season. The question is, as he continues to improve, he alone will not be enough to win a championship. Can Detroit's management, and they have one of the best owners in the league at doing this, make the commitment to keep surrounding him with the other pieces? Michael couldn't win a championship by himself until they put the other pieces in place.
Very true, and you don't like the comparison to Michael Jordan. I know Grant doesn't like it. He said that in the interview.
No, Grant doesn't like it at all. I think he should be more compared to Magic Johnson. And Magic Johnson told me during the All-Star break that that Grant Hill had come to him before the season and complained to him about being compared to Jordan all the time, asked for his advice. And Magic told him, hey, just forget about that. You can't live up to that. That'll kill you. Just be your own player. And I told Magic that I thought, if you don't double team, the teams that double team Grant Hill make a big mistake because he doesn't have that offensive mentality like Jordan does. He's not looking to get 30 or 40 every night. He's like Magic. He spreads it out. Yeah, triple-double.
That's right. And in this series, he's averaging 24 points, but he's also averaging 6.5 rebounds and 5 assists a game. So a well-rounded player, to be sure. And when we return, we'll talk about the first half in Miami, the Heat, and the Magic. First, a message from Prudential and a word from the NBA. Welcome back. The winner of the Magic and Heat today faces the New York Knicks starting on Wednesday night. Miami leading at halftime 41-34. Richie Adebayo has already made some pretty crucial adjustments by necessity, as we talked about in the pregame show thus far in the series. Now, what do you look for him to do at halftime, Mike?
Well, what's happened is we talked about the problems that Shea's presented for Mourning, being outside passing and shooting. The problem the other way around is Danny Shea's only 9 minutes, 3 personal fouls. Now, how does Orlando contain Alonzo Mourning? Mourning has worked extremely hard in the paint area. Miami has 20 points in the paint. 14 of those points have come from Alonzo Mourning with 4 offensive rebounds, and as a result, Miami has a 12-2 advantage in second shot opportunities. Boxing him out is a problem. Limited minutes by Shea is certainly a concern. Now, if you're looking for the key, what's Pat Riley saying at halftime to his team? I'm sure he's saying, look, we must learn how to put the finishing touches on and end this series with a win. Remember, there's not a lot of playoff experience on the Miami roster when you go past Dan Marley, Tim Hardaway, and maybe one playoff round for Zoe. This is an inexperienced team come playoff time.
They're facing an Orlando Magic team, which, frankly, is not shooting the ball well at all, Doc. But how are they letting them in the game?
Well, I'll tell you, this is going to be a great challenge for Pat Riley as well as the Miami Heat. The Heat came out tight, and you can look at Mourning standing at the foul line, hesitating to shoot a jump shot, and Dan Marley throwing up a couple of air balls. But Pat took them over to the side, settled them down. He got them to loosen up, let it flow a little more, put Marley back in the game even after he shot 2 air balls. So this will be a coaching challenge for him in the second half to keep his team loose. And because they were tight, that's why Orlando was able to hang around.
Meanwhile, we got the New York Knicks who've already been to the College of Charleston and back, so they're sitting at home now watching this game and waiting to see who they meet in the next round.
Right. Well, first of all, Hannah, Mike's the only guy that's enjoying the methodical play of both teams. You like this pace?
What a great game.
Oh,
love it.
It's right up Mike's alley, isn't it?
No, but
tempo management, that's it.
Tempo management. But the Knicks are home fighting complacency. If Orlando gets into it, they're already worried about underestimating underrating the Magic, but we all in New York, of course, are rooting for the Riley factor to come up against the Knicks, and Zoe and Ewing to go at it in the next round, and nothing against Orlando, but that's what we would like.
Okay. Meanwhile, it's a halftime in Miami. The Heat are leading the Magic by 7. We'll send it back for the second half right after these messages from your local station.
This has been the Prudential Halftime Report, brought to you by Prudential, bringing strength and stability to America's families through insurance, healthcare, real estate, and financial services.
The New York Knicks await the winner of this game. Miami up 7. Let's check in with Paul Sunderland, who a moment ago spoke with Richie Adubato. What do you have to say, Paul?
Well, Richie Adubato and the Orlando Magic hanging in. He thinks that their team got some exceptional looks in the first half, but only shot 32%. And key that they get into their offense much quicker. He thought Penny Hardaway started to get a little tired, and he wants Darrell Armstrong to go get the ball out of his hands should he get the rebound. And this was really interesting. He said, look, Derek Strong has no personal fouls in the first half. If Alonzo Mourning gets the ball inside, we're going to foul him and put him on the line because he's over so far in the first half. Back to you guys.
All right, Paul. Danny Shea's missing for Orlando to start the second half. There's the first foul on Derek Strong.
Strong matched up with Mourning early on. Oh, and a little shove. Danny Shea's because of the 3 fouls starting the second half on P.J. Brown.
And Strong and Mourning still exchanging forearm shivers, jockeying for position. Here's Jamal Mashburn. Gerald Wilkins getting the second half start, matched up with Mashburn. Leonard takes it to the rim.
That's the first time in this game Rashawn Leonard's gone to the basket. In the first half, he was 1 for 5, all from behind 3-point range.
Armstrong bringing the ball up court. That's what Richie Adubato wanted, to have him handle the ball more and save some energy for Penny Hardaway. Wilkins misses the 3. Orlando's poor shooting continues. 0 for 2 to start the second half. P.J. Brown, 19-footer back rim to Armstrong. Leonard picking up Hardaway in back court. Penny continues to hold. The double team comes. He got rid of it. Not doubling this time. Pat Riley's defensive philosophy is to avoid the double if possible. 2 to shoot. Wilkins got it away. Can't score. Knocked out of bounds. Last touch by Rashawn Leonard. Orlando gets another chance. 0 for 3 here in the third quarter.
Penny Hardaway, as soon as he puts the ball on the floor, the double team coming from Mourning, and good ball movement and a little shove in the chest on top of it.
Here's Penny again. Mourning picks him up. Penny shoots over Alonzo. Not a good decision. Rebounded by P.J. Brown. Numbers for Miami. The trailer. Brown is fouled.
The reason that wasn't a good decision on the other end is that Penny was never able to get away from the double team, kept the ball and shot it right in Mourning's face.
And perhaps that's what Richie Adubato wants to talk about. Orlando timeout as they open the third quarter firing blanks. 9:51 left in the third. It's 43-34. A week ago after game 2, Richie Adubato and the Orlando Magic left Miami a thoroughly beaten and apparently demoralized team. Then the miracle rally games 3 and 4. We asked Richie if that might save his job as coach of the Orlando Magic.
I don't know if I can speculate. I know as a person, I've been coaching for a long time, and it's been the greatest thrill I've ever had as a coach with this type of turnaround, and being able to win with the guys that we've been winning with the underdog theme and with unknown people against some real superstars. So it's been great. The fans have been tremendous with their support in Orlando, and it's it's winning against big odds, and that's really fun when you're a coach.
It is satisfying as a coach when you're the underdog and the players go out and try to do the things that you've asked them to do, and then you have some success. And I know for Richie to come back and win this game 5, that would be the biggest thrill of his coaching career, especially without Cycli and Grant.
Snappy shirt we saw from Richie in that interview, and tie on the sidelines today. He said in Orlando they just have computers. He says Pat Riley has computerized computers, Italian suits, and a staff of 10. How could we possibly win? Second chance on the free throw after the lane violation gives Miami its biggest lead. Penny will shoot 2. Alonzo Mourning the personal foul.
Penny's fearless when he gets the ball inside, going against one of the best shot blockers in the league. But again, he didn't let there be any room between his shot and Mourning. He shot the ball right up under Mourning's chin.
Now the balloons have come out, giving Hardaway an extra special difficult target, and he struggled at the line anyway. Makes that one though, and the second.
That was the problem, Tom. There were no balloons.
Used to being distracted, huh?
Yeah, in the first half. Now he's focusing on what he's got to do.
First 2 points for Orlando in the second half, and they come with 9.5 minutes left. Mashburn threw a fastball that the Marlins would have been proud of.
And Bashawn Leonard came off the screen wide open, too. Anything even close to him would have been a layup.
Strike 3. Orlando gets it back. Penny working on Leonard. Mourning to help. Fall away. Oh, what a shot. Penny Hardaway.
The defense is going to learn sooner or later to stay on their feet. Hardaway with the ball fake once again, and the defenders all up in the air.
He's victimized Alonzo several times on that ball fake today. Ashburn made a quick move to the hoop. Couldn't finish it, but draws the foul.
Watch Hardaway. He's going to go baseline, and again, the ball fake, and Mourning is up in the air, and a nice fall away, literally, by Hardaway.
Manny Shays just picking up foul number 4. His dad, Hall of Famer Dolph Shays, looking on, each with a 16-year NBA career.
Not only Hall of Famer, but one of the 50 greatest NBA players of all time.
Ashburn sinks the free throws. 6 points for Jamal. It's 47-38. Brown with a good switch, but Armstrong got by him and dished to Shays. Blocked by Mourning. Leonard spotted up. Three-pointer on its way in. Down.
Richie Adubado's got to be careful here. This game's about to get out of hand. No quick shots. Deliberate offense and get a good one.
Biggest lead for Miami. Shays in trouble. Got rid of it. Armstrong for 3. That'll help.
What a huge shot right there by Armstrong with the defender right in his face.
Back to a 9-point advantage. Armstrong takes it away from Hardaway. And Penny trailing it. He'll shoot 2 free throws. Darrell Armstrong looked like Silver Charm as he raced down court.
You know, Tommy, Armstrong got into game number 2, but the game was already lost, but he brings an excitement and an energy. Nice steal there, and Hardaway almost got that ball to go in.
Let's see if he's regained his free throw shooting form after he hit his last 2. On target again. That could be big if Orlando's to mount a comeback.
Miami might want to collect those balloons up.
Take them back, huh? Yep, might want to pop those balloons. Since they pulled out the balloons, he is 4 for 4 at the free throw line. Lead cut to 7. Tim Hardaway shoots over Armstrong. Battle for it, taken down by Penny. Outlet to Armstrong. One-on-one against Tim Hardaway. They both fall down. Here's Mashburn back to Tim. Leonard for 3.
In the first half, Bashawn Leonard was trying to catch the ball and shoot it very quickly before the defense had a chance to recover. His 2 3-pointers this half, he's really taken his time, drawn the bead, and knocked him down.
Hasn't missed a shot in this third quarter. 3 for 3. 14 points in the game. Long three-pointer by Penny up against the shot clock, and he drains it. Wow. Penny starting to put on a show now. 23 points. That was a long, long-range three. And Miami will take the timeout. Penny Hardaway, 9 points in this third quarter, keeping Orlando in it. 6:43 left in the third. Look at this. Penny from way outside. 53-46. Can Penny work his magic one more time? Just a moment ago, Miami had a 12-point lead, its biggest lead of the game. But Penny Hardaway has reduced the lead down to 7 right now. 9 points already in this third quarter. 2 of 3 from the floor and all 4 of his free throws. High post Mourning as the backdoor cut by Tim Hardaway, broken up by Armstrong.
And Adebayo taking a little bit of a chance here, keeping Danny Shays in the game with the 4 personal fouls. And again, a little extracurricular activity between Mourning and Strong.
Strong telling us that one of the things he wanted to do, not any cheap shots, but just be physical with Alonzo and to push Alonzo out of his favorite spots on the floor. He said he was much less effective if you put him at a spot on the floor where he didn't quite feel so comfortable. Mourning turns over Strong and bottoms it out. First 2 of the quarter for Alonzo, 16 in the game.
I think that Derek might have thought he had Mourning in one of those uncomfortable spots, but Zoe knocking down the jumper this afternoon.
Penny. Double team from Alonzo. Who's the open man? Wilkins.
Oh,
count it.
No, he's going. I think he's going to blow it off. He's going to say it was an inadvertent whistle. Count the basket. No foul. Billy Oakes made the signal immediately. No foul, but the basket is good. Wilkins goes to the basket, and I think that Oakes is right. There was no foul there. He called it an inadvertent whistle.
Correct. Bench scoring 17 for Orlando as they move back within 7. A no basket away from the ball. An offensive foul whistled against the Heat. It's on P.J. Brown, number 1. And now Orlando with a chance to pull within 5. Shays. Skip it across court. Hardaway for 3. Hit the shot clock. It will not count. Went through, but off the shot clock, nullified.
See, I think you ought to get 4 points for that. That's a lot. That's a lot tougher than just shooting the ball in, banking it off the shot clock.
Leonard. Good defensive help by Strong. Ashburn misses a 3, and nice position on the board by Penny Hardaway. Armstrong for 3. 3 on 2 Miami. Leonard for 3. That's his spot.
And once again, did you see how he took his time? He got his feet set, didn't rush that one. He's having an outstanding second half.
3 times 3 in the third for Vashawn Leonard. Richie Adebayo saying one of the keys to victory today was to stop the Miami transition and the open threes. Double whammy on this one.
Again, watch Leonard taking his time. He gets a bank off of the backboard, not the 24-second clock.
Got the open look from three-point range in the transition game. Wilkins. Step on Mashburn. And Penny Hardaway stepped out of bounds.
Penny dropping the back foot to get a push off to go to the glass and stepped right on the line.
Vashawn Leonard personally saving Miami's lead here in the third. He's 4 for 4. The other Heat players are only 1 of 5 shooting. Shot clock to 5. Mashburn dishes to Brown. Wouldn't roll through. Mashburn offensive rebound and fouled by Penny Hardaway.
Seems like almost every trip now we're getting close to a 24-second violation. Mashburn, Brown has to take this shot because the clock had already expired, but Mashburn with the offensive rebound.
And he got the call as Orlando calls a 20. Second chance points have been heavily in favor of the Miami Heat today. Of course, with that small lineup, Orlando is hampered, especially on the offensive glass.
And especially with Shays in foul trouble a lot of the first half. The only really tough rebounder the Magic had in the game was Derek Strong.
Second chance points, 13-2 in favor of Miami.
Mainly because of that man. Mourning has been a warrior on the offensive boards.
Winner of the series moves on to face the New York Knicks. If it's Orlando, they will be without Ronnie Cycli. Torn ligament in his right foot in a cast.
And probably without Grant, who has the soft cast on his right wrist.
The turnaround has been amazing. A week ago at this time, you thought Orlando had no chance. And in fact, a couple of sportscasters I know left their Orlando media guide on the desk. As
really?
They left. Yeah.
Was it anybody we know?
No, I don't know. Can't divulge the names. Mashburn connects on a pair. I'll give you a hint. They didn't work for TNT. Hardaway was open for a moment coming off a screen. Shays is open. Can't hit. Boy, there's just been no supporting cast for Penny Hardaway today. And Mourning beats the defense down court.
What happened after Shays took that shot, he fell down, which gave Mourning a wide open run to the other end of the floor.
At one time, fast break points 15-1. At one time, Orlando had the ball and a chance to pull within 5, and suddenly Miami sprints clear to its biggest lead. Wilkins blocked by Mourning. Leonard runs the court, and a chance for a three-point play. And I guess no foul called after all, although half the Orlando players thought so. Mourning got the easy one. Then the transition game working again. Mourning with a block, and quickly they convert defense to offense. Vashawn Leonard got it down. Miami in the midst of a 9-0 run, thanks in large measure to Vashawn Leonard, who has hit all 5 of his shots here in the third quarter. 13 in the quarter, 19 in the game for Vashawn Leonard.
Tommy, let me give you a telling statistic. In the first 2 games, Miami a huge advantage in fast break points. In Orlando, the Magic able to keep that stat close. This afternoon, 17-1 fast break points for the Heat.
Strong against Mourning, spinning, tried a up and under, cut off by Mourning, and finally 3-second violation. Orlando turnover. Mourning has been too tough on defense today.
Well, Mourning has been going for Hardaway's ball fakes, getting him up in the air, but Strong, he stood right on the ground. Derek never got the shot away.
Alonzo thought about that. Now he takes it. Can't hit it. Long rebound. Penny Hardaway. Armstrong got it to Strong. Mugged by Mourning. for three on Alonso.
Well, if you're going to take a foul, you might as well get a good one. And not only does he keep Strong from shooting the basket, but gets the takedown as well.
Last week, Richie Adebayo was talking to us, and he compared the Miami defense with that of Chicago's as the two best in the league, and said, we know that if you take it to the rim, you're going to get knocked down.
And he even gave the Heat a compliment when he said Chicago turns it on and turns it off. He said Miami does it for 48 minutes.
Derek Strong's free throw. Derek with 11 rebounds in the first half, but blanked on the board so far here in the third. Alonzo Mourning gets a rest. Keith Askins is in. Before the game started today, Miami's Isaac Austin, as P.J. Brown said, a good pick on Armstrong, and then runs the floor to get the easy bucket. I was about to say before the game, Isaac Austin of Miami was given the NBA's Most Improved Player Award, and he hasn't seen action in this game, did not play in Game 4.
Well, the matchups with the smaller Orlando team really doesn't allow a chance for Austin to get into the game. And Orlando will not stop.
Foolish foul there by Askins.
Absolutely, because he wasn't going to keep Strong from scoring on that one. Ike Austin looking on.
So Derek Strong has a chance for the three-point play. Rims up, rebounded by Mashburn.
Side cleared for Timmy.
Floater short. Then he has it for Orlando. Final 90 seconds of the third quarter. Dennis Scott, tough shot. Brown takes it off the floor for Miami. That's 8 rebounds for PJ. Leonard lost it off the knee of a Magic player. Heat will get it back with 10 on the shot clock.
Leonard lost control, but the ball right off the knee of Dennis Scott and out of bounds. Pat wants a play. He just turned and asked his bench if he still had a 20. Obviously, he thinks this is a big possession right here.
Final minute of the third. Shot clock, 3. Hardaway forced it from three-point range. Easy rebound for Anderson. With Armstrong not bringing the ball up court, it's left up to Penny. Takes it all the way to the rim, and Askins got him again. Keith Askins now has 5 personal fouls.
Now, there's really not much that Askins can do. He's one-on-one with Hardaway. No help at all. And the foul as Hardaway tries to get the left-handed shot to go down.
Penny Hardaway telling us that he was embarrassed, and he took personally the comments that were made after the first 2 games that the Magic had no heart, no courage. He said that many people say this is Penny's team, and so if they're going to say that, and they were all true, he admitted that. He said, we're going to try to make a series out of it, and they regrouped when they got home. And Penny Hardaway, who I guess was instrumental in the Palace Revolt, which brought Richie Adebayo the head coaching job as Brian Hill left, has been up to the task of taking the team on his shoulders in games 3 and 4.
A lot of people comparing his efforts in those 2 games to a Michael Jordan-like performance.
Even he was saying he was flattered at that comparison. Marley for 3.
Marley coming back from the back surgery, and if Miami's going to have a chance after today's game, I think they're going to have Marley play a big part of it.
4 trifectas in this quarter. 3 by Leonard and now 1 by Marley. Bad pass from Penny Hardaway, saved by Anderson. As the quarter expires, he heaves a shot from near midcourt. Vashawn Leonard with a superb third quarter, 13 points in all, and blazing shooting for him. Carries Miami to the big lead after 3. It's the Heat 69 and the Magic 53. We'll be back after these messages and a word from your local station.
This copyrighted telecast of the National Basketball Association may not be retransmitted, reproduced, or rebroadcast without the express written consent of the NBA.
1 quarter remaining in this 5th and final game of the series. The winner moves on to the Eastern Conference semifinals to meet the New York Knicks. Miami up 69-53, turning up the heat in that third quarter. Leonard with 19 now leads the Heat in scoring. Penny Hardaway 25, tops all point getters in the game. Pretty good balance scoring by Miami today. 3 players in double figures. Whistle away from the ball and a foul on Orlando.
Going to go against Dennis Scott, who was hand checking on Marley as Dan put the ball on the floor trying to get to the basket. Take another look at it. You see the shove right there by Dennis Scott.
Scott with 2 points today. Nick Anderson with none. Danny Shays with 2. There had just been no supporting cast for Penny Hardaway.
Coach Adebayo telling us yesterday that Armstrong or Scott had to have a big offensive game if Orlando was going to win today.
Leonard, air ball on the 3. Penny pulls up his 3-pointer on its way. Well, as we said, never underestimate the value of a penny. If he does it, it'll be single-handed because he's got no help today. But there he is hitting a 3 to open the 4th quarter, and you have to think with Penny Hardaway, maybe they still have a chance. Marley, though, answers for Miami. And that won't work. You can't trade baskets.
What's happening now, Tom, is Orlando's defense has gotten a little tired. They're not rotating and getting to the open shooter nearly as quickly as they were in the first half.
Penny working on P.J. Brown. And P.J. moving his feet, doing a pretty good job. 3 to shoot. Hardaway, Tim thought he had the steal, but instead foul is called. Number 4 on Tim.
Well, the Heat realizing P.J. Brown had Penny one-on-one, and so they went to double. He gave the ball up to Strong, and probably a pretty good foul by Tim Hardaway.
Strong will have another free throw as John Crotty makes his first appearance in the game, giving Tim Hardaway a rest for Miami. Strong nails 2, and it's 72-58.
This will be a fun matchup between John Crotty and Armstrong, both of them. Real little pepper pots out there.
Spin. Mourning head inside position on Scott. Didn't get the ball. Mashburn shoots from outside. Nick Anderson knocked down. Miami foul call.
Loose ball foul on the Heat, number 33.
Loose ball on Alonzo Mourning. That's his 4th.
Wow, and as Mourning walked up the court, he went right by Mashburn and told him exactly what you said, Tom. He said, when I've got single coverage in there, you throw me the basketball.
That matchup you mentioned, Armstrong and Crotty. Screen from Strong on the roll. He got it back. Penny for 3. Strong took it away from Mashburn for a second. Mashburn got it back. Mourning, nice pass from Leonard. He's hacked by Strong.
Magic foul number 33. Strong is second.
9:49 left. Will it be Miami to face the Knicks? We'll be back.
Miller Genuine Draft presents a classic moment of the NBA at 50.
Today we look back to the first round of the '93 playoffs, the Hornets and the Celtics. Charlotte trailed by 1 in the closing seconds when Alonzo Mourning hit that jump shot as time ran out to give Charlotte the game and the series. In recognition of this classic moment, Miller Beer will donate $1,000 to the Thurgood Marshall Scholarship Fund. And so today, with 18 points, 9 boards, and 4 block shots, started the game with 3 turnovers in the first 3 minutes, but has not turned it over since. The only thing he has not done well is hit his free throws, and he finally got that one down. That's 1 of 4 at the line now for Alonzo, who, of course, would like nothing better than to take on the Knicks and his good friend Patrick Ewing in the battle of former Georgetown centers.
And, of course, Dikembe Mutombo, depending on what happens in the game coming up next, could be moving on as well.
Atlanta and Detroit game 5 coming up next on NBC. And then the Lakers, Utah to round out the triple header later today. Nick Anderson, first basket of the game. It's a 3-pointer. Crowdy gets away from Armstrong. How improbable is that matchup as Crowdy shoots the 3 and hits. John Crowdy has played in the Global Basketball League for Utah, Cleveland. He's played in Italy, now with Miami. And, of course, Darrell Armstrong, playing for Orlando, has been in the Global League, the USBL, the CBA in Spain, and in Cyprus. He said when he played in Cyprus, they threw coins at you, they spit on you, and in his last game there, they burned down the gym after the game was over.
I don't think they're going to have to worry about burning down the Miami arena, but Nick Anderson starting to warm up. You just have to hope for Orlando it's not too little too late.
Marley, dish to Alonzo, lost it out of bounds. Last touch by the Magic.
So wants 2 free throws, but the officials saying, no, we're just going to get it out of bounds.
He had 5 seconds to shoot.
Here is Tim Hardaway returning. Crowdy goes out. And again, we document Scott and Armstrong and their struggles as Mourning loses it. Armstrong pushing. Anderson, now maybe he is heating up. Riley immediately calls timeout as Nick Anderson has hit 3 straight 3-point shots. He'd been missing in action, and in the last 2 minutes he has nailed 3 trifectas. Will it be enough for Orlando to pull another Magic comeback? 8:12 left. It's a 10-point game. Welcome back to Miami as Nick Anderson finally makes his presence known. A week ago, Orlando had been pounded into the dirt twice by Miami, and all the headlines were questioning the heart of Orlando and their commitment and their courage. And if they've proven nothing else over these last 3 games, they've proven they do have heart. They're back within 10 in this one. Ashburn lost it. Marley, 2 to shoot. It's Leonard. Can't hit. High for the rebound. 2 Magic players. Nick Anderson pulls it down. What woke Nick up?
I don't know, but, you know, I said a little earlier, Orlando was getting tired, but those 3 3-pointers by Anderson, and they'll play on emotion the rest of the way. Physical exhaustion won't be part of it.
He scored the last 9 points for Orlando, has Nick Anderson. Armstrong gets in on the act. Armstrong with his 7th point, and now down to single digits. It's an 8-point Miami lead. Ashburn set sail for the hoop, knocked out of bounds. Last touch by Derek Strong. Riley and the Heat will get it back, and boy, Richie's back into the game, and too, he's dancing a jig over there on the side.
He was certain that was Orlando's ball.
8-0 run by the Magic over the last minute 30, just when we were about to give them the mandatory 8 count. Shot clock under 10. Quick move by Tim Hardaway. The floater won't go. And good position by Strong. He had Mourning blocked off the board. Anderson missed that one badly. And Marley picks it up. Well, confidence can be too much of a good thing for a shooter sometimes.
Well, what happened was the first 3 looks, he had open looks at the basket. That time, he tried to shoot with a Miami player right in his face.
Which, of course, was why Riley called the timeout. Said, you better get in his face. Mourning wrestling, now doubled as Scott comes to help. Steal, Anderson. And another Miami timeout. (10-0) Orlando run. Can the Magic pull another rabbit out of the hat? They think so.
Hannah Storm in New York. A reminder, coming up after the Magic and the Heat, it's Game 5 between Grant Hill's Pistons and the Atlanta Hawks. Grant Hill has never won a playoff series, but his team has beaten the Hawks twice in Atlanta. The winner of this series goes on to play the Chicago Bulls. Tip-off just after 3 o'clock Eastern time as we send it back to Miami now to Tom Hammond, Dan Issel, and Paul Sunderland.
All right, thank you, Hannah. As the Magic have clawed back within 6 points, what can Miami do, Dan, to regain the momentum here?
Well, I think they have to continue to go into Mourning. That's where they really have the advantage in the matchups. But then Alonzo's got to make good passes out of the double team.
This could be an over and back. No, touched by Orlando. Miami retains possession. Shot clock under 10. Marley struggling and makes the shot. Wow.
Well, he was struggling trying to get the ball up the floor, but Dan very rarely struggles when it comes to shooting the ball.
Let's see if they go back to Nick Anderson. He scored 11 points in the last 3 minutes. Penny has it stripped by the quick hands of Vashawn Leonard. Tim Hardaway leads the break. Marley with the face and one.
Marley, next to the last time down the court, gets the jumper to go down, and then on the fast break, Derek Strong's going to make a big mistake here. You either have to let Marley lay this ball in or foul him and go to the free throw line. You can't do both.
Marley, the only Miami player who has been in the NBA Finals with 11 points in the second half. Again, the Miami Heat, a franchise that has never won a playoff series. Penny Hardaway working on Leonard, got the shot away, drew the foul. He'll shoot a pair. Tough assignment today for Vashawn Leonard, one of several who have checked Penny Hardaway.
Well, he did such a great job because for about 17 or 18 seconds, he played Hardaway one-on-one and then fouls Hardaway when he's shooting the jump shot.
Remember, Penny Hardaway started the game hitting only 4 of his first 8 free throws, but since he's faced the balloons down on that end, he hasn't missed. He's 8 for 8. Got to rethink that balloon strategy if there's another game here.
I would think so, but Hardaway an excellent free throw shooter, so the abomination was the first half, not the second half.
30 in the game for Penny. That's right on his playoff average for this series. Marley stripped by Dennis Scott. Armstrong back to Penny. Scott with a screen. Now on the switch, Marley defending Penny. Pulls up. No good. Leonard had it swiped, knocked away by Armstrong. Double team of Penny. Open man. And the shot good by Armstrong. He was knocked down. He wanted a foul, but no whistle. And it's back to a 6-point Miami lead. 10 in the game for Armstrong on that three-pointer. Quick move, blocked. Blocked by Anderson. Penny leads the break. Hardaway bullying his way inside, then got rid of it. Steal by Marley. Deshaun Leonard tripped. Will go to the free throw line. No, the Orlando Magic had a golden opportunity there to come within 4 points. Ill-advised pass picked off by Dan Marley. Now we're at the Miami free throw line.
What Orlando has to be afraid of right now is that Hardaway tried to do it all by himself. He's obviously the best player out there. And here's a break for Orlando. The officials discussing that Leonard hadn't shot the basketball, and so Miami will simply get the ball inbounds.
Penny Hardaway, who got 1 minute's rest in game 3 and 4 total. Still out there, and is he tiring? Tapped once, twice by P.J. Brown. Comes right to Alonzo Mourning. Then Marley launches a three. P.J. Brown again on the offensive board. Still can't get it down, and Orlando has it. Armstrong right by Tim Hardaway. Mourning helps to no avail. And rainbow shot.
And again, Armstrong knocked to the floor. He put a great move on Tim Hardaway to get open, and then made the shot with Mourning flying in his face.
7-0 Orlando run. They're within 4 points of the Heat with 3.5 to play.
I guess this doesn't bother you if you've been in a building they burned down at the end of the game.
Armstrong. Yeah, Heat doesn't bother him. He's been there. Mourning off the roll, not there. Scott has it in the hands of Armstrong.
And the Heat starting to get on the Heat. Those jump shots starting to tighten up a little bit.
Hardaway wanted the foul, no whistle. Tim Hardaway the other direction. P.J. Brown.
And that's a good foul by Armstrong, because he's going to make P.J. Brown go to the free throw line and earn the 2 points.
And Armstrong taking a chance to rest a little bit on our camera. And why not? He's been knocked down a couple of times, not used to all these minutes. He even had to eat a candy bar for some energy at halftime of the games in Orlando. His last 2 shots he has made and been knocked down on both of them. And he's still out there trying to get every bit of rest he can.
Good timeout here by Richie. He's got timeouts to work with, and his team right now feeling the exhaustion.
Believe it or not, Game 5 still in doubt. Already, this is the biggest comeback in NBA history, losing games 1 and 2 by a total of 52 points and coming back to force a Game 5. Orlando and the Magic on hostile territory today, hoping for the reverse sweep, winning 3 in a row against the Miami Heat. And in the third quarter, Miami built a 17-point lead. It looked like they were going to cruise to victory. But Orlando is still right there, but 2:58 to play. And Miami up 82-78. It'll be P.J. Brown at the free throw line. He's hit all 4 of his charity tosses today. And P.J. is a good free throw shooter. 73% during the regular season.
And the last 3 minutes of this game will be very interesting, Tom, because all of the pressure on Miami, a marvelous season, could go right down the drain with a loss here. Orlando should be playing loose and free.
This quarter, 8 of 12 shooting by the Magic, only 4 of 14 for Miami. Penny calling for the ball. He has it against Leonard. That's been the matchup most of the day. Mourning with a double. Armstrong, that's a long 2, right into the hands of Mourning. And Armstrong wanted the foul. He's not getting a call.
No, you're not going to get a foul at this point in the game with just a little brush on the forearm. The officials will never take you off the hook like that.
Working on the shot clock. Mourning, fall away, short on it, right into the hands of Marley. He's rejected by Anderson, but Miami gets it back as we come to the 2-minute mark.
And again, I think the Heat have to go in the morning, make Orlando double team, and then kick to the open man.
Tim Hardaway launches the three. I don't know why he did that. But then Marley bails him out with an offensive rebound. Then traveling is called. So Miami will turn it over.
Really not a good shot by Hardaway, especially the way he's been shooting the last 2 and 3 games. There was plenty of time on the shot clock. No need for that three-pointer there.
Miami with 6 offensive rebounds the last couple of minutes. They haven't put them back, but they have worked the clock down in their favor. Strong, and he travels. I don't think he expected Penny to give it up.
No, I think that the last time Penny had that situation, he shot the basketball, and Strong thought he was going to do the same thing.
20-second timeout taken by Miami. That's their final 20. Don't forget, coming up next, Grant Hill and the Detroit Pistons concluding their series against Dikembe Mutombo and the Atlanta Hawks. Game 5, Detroit and Atlanta coming up next. Then later today, the Los Angeles Lakers and Shaquille O'Neal traveling to Utah to take on Karl Malone and the Utah Jazz. That's the opener of their Western Conference semifinal. 2 games still to come here on NBC. .134 left in the game. Each team has 2 full timeouts and no 20s remaining. Miami still has a foul to give in this quarter.
And the temptation, just like Tim Hardaway's last shot, Tom, the temptation is to try and win this game all by yourself. You got to play 5 against 5, though, and just like you have all season long.
Mourning dribbling up against Strong. Turned away at the last minute. Here's the double team of Tim Hardaway, and he calls a timeout. Miami down to its final timeout now. .125 left in this 5th and deciding game. We'll be back to Miami after these messages from your local station. 125 left, game 5, and the issue's still in doubt. The winner moves on to face the New York Knicks conference semifinals. Marley with the inbounds pass to Mourning. Armstrong all over Tim Hardaway. Shot clock to 8. Hardaway's fall-away shot bounces twice and into the hands of Nick Anderson. Running the floor, and Strong puts it in.
And Armstrong just playing outstanding basketball on both ends of the floor.
Penny Hardaway with a rejection. Out of bounds to Miami. Looked like it might have been a goaltend, but they rule a clean block.
But Sean Leonard certainly thought it was a goaltend. He thought that basket should have counted. Great defensive play by Hardaway.
58.2 seconds left. Miami leads by 4. Tim Hardaway as Armstrong was knocked down yet again.
That time by Mourning coming off the screen.
Tim Hardaway can't get away from Armstrong. Armstrong still all over him. Fall away by Tim Hardaway. Impossible shot. Clutch basket by Hardaway.
Well, he's taken 3 of them in a row, and he finally got one to go down.
Lead back to 6. Hardaway for 3, and it's a 3-point game. Leonard in backcourt against Penny Hardaway. Went for the blindside steal, not there. 24 on the game clock. Shot clock now at 10. Hardaway for 3. Clutch Hardaway. This is the NBA. What else on NBC? Tim Hardaway blanked in the second half, has scored the last 5 points despite the sticky defense of Darrell Armstrong.
Very important stat that you just saw on the screen. Miami has a foul here to give. See if they don't let Orlando start to get into the offensive play and then maybe take that foul to disrupt whatever it is they're going to try to do here. More than likely, go to Penny Hardaway.
Hardaway off the screen. No foul. Open shot. Scott for 3. And Mourning the rebound. He's immediately fouled, and he and Anderson start to square off before they're separated by teammates. Well, they got an open look at a three-pointer.
Once again, because they were doubling Penny, Scott got the open look, but just not able to get it go down. And now Mourning with a couple of free throws here can seal the deal.
Alonzo, after missing his first 3 free throws, has hit 2 in a row. 7.1 seconds left. 6-point Miami lead.
Well, what about Tim Hardaway? Tim really had a tough time in the 2 games in Orlando. Comes back and hits the 2 clutch shots that have a chance to win the game for Miami. Mourning makes this free throw. Even 2 3-pointers won't tie it up for the Magic.
Miami had a 17-point lead, saw Orlando come storming back, and now, thanks to the heroics of Tim Hardaway and the free throws by Alonzo Mourning, it looks as if the Heat will prevail as they go up 91-83 with 7.1 seconds left, and Orlando takes its final timeout. And so we can look ahead now to the Eastern Conference semifinals. The Knicks and the Heat. Matchup of the big men, the former Georgetown Hoyas, Patrick Ewing and Alonzo Mourning. The Knicks took 3 out of 4 in the regular season against Miami, but the Heat will have home court advantage. Riley and the Heat will be ready for the Knicks, but they will have endured this tough series as Ewing and Mourning head-to-head have had remarkably similar numbers, although Ewing has a slight scoring advantage. Orlando has given it their best shot, and no one will question the courage anymore. And what about that man? Darrell Armstrong has made a reputation for himself in these playoffs.
He really has, and like a lot of little guys who bounce around and play in a number of different leagues, he has found a home, I think, in Orlando, and it was really his insertion into Game 2 in the 3rd quarter that I think found the excitement and the enthusiasm for the Orlando Magic.
And Brian Shaw, the veteran, consoling young Darrell Armstrong, who is despondent. And one thing about Darrell Armstrong, he left it all on the court. He didn't save a thing. And you have to wonder now how much this series will have taken out of Miami as they face the Knicks, who swept the Hornets. Hardaway, fake, got the 3 away. And that will do it. It didn't come easy, but the Miami Heat, for the first time in franchise history, has won a playoff series. Final score is Miami 91 and Orlando 83. The Hardaways, Tim and Penny, with a greeting at midcourt, and Tim Hardaway showing what clutch play is all about as he hit 2 extremely difficult shots to put the game away for the Miami Heat. That was something to see.
It really was, and again, Tim Hardaway wanted this game on his shoulders. He was going to take the big shots and live with the consequences.
What did he say to us yesterday? He said, just give me the ball, let me bring it up court, and let me put it in the hoop. He did it when it counted. Let's go to Paul Sunderland.
Well, Alonzo, the war is won temporarily. Your thoughts on winning the series and also the toll it might have taken as you look forward to New York?
Well, it was a tough, hard-fought series. We got a little complacent. We got a little relaxed when we won. games 1 and 2, you know, but that ball club has a lot of experience and has a lot of heart. They got a great player in Penny Hardaway. It just came down to a dogfight this evening.
Up next, Patrick Ewing.
That's going to be a tough, hard-fought series. You know, they got the best of us during the year. We got to keep our composure and work extremely hard against this ball club. We're both two physical teams, and it's going to be a dogfight.
All right, congratulations on the win. Tom, let's go back to you.
All right, Paul. 91-83 for Dan Issel and Paul Sunderland. Tom Hammond saying so long. Now for the Pistons Hawks, let's go to Greg Gumbel.